Greetings, one and all, and my fellow YouTubers. Welcome to the debut of a new segment here on my channel. This is called the Superhero Chronicles. Basically, the Superhero Chronicles is simple. You're gonna get nothing but superhero talk on this specific segment of my channel. The Superhero Chronicles is going to cover everything related to superheroes, and it's not going to be just movie reviews. It's going to be anything related to superheroes. You'll get discussions on, specific comic book characters and things of that nature. You'll get speculation videos for upcoming movies and what I think should happen, and what me and whoever I'm talking to will give you our opinions of what we think we'll think is the future of the specific movies and things like that. So this is pretty much the geek port. This is pretty much the nerd. The geek portion of the channel. Anyway, let's get started. It's only appropriate, I think, that the first review of the Superhero Chronicles is on Deadpool. Deadpool is a movie that I fucking love. I love this movie. I saw it twice in theaters, and I enjoyed it both times. I think I liked it better the second time than I did the first time. I'm a diehard Deadpool fan. I've been a Deadpool fan since 2003, I think. About 2003. It's been a long time. And when I saw X-Men Origins Wolverine and Deadpool, when I read about X-Men Origins Wolverine, found that Deadpool was going to be in it, I was like, oh, right, Deadpool. It's going to be in it. And when I saw the movie, Ryan Reynolds as Deadpool fucking killed it. And I'm like, okay, Ryan Reynolds is Deadpool. He's got everything down pat. The personality, the way his quick delivery of the one-liners and everything. So Ryan Reynolds is Deadpool. Not only that, Ryan Reynolds has been Deadpool in his previous work. Watch any movie with Ryan Reynolds. He's playing Deadpool. There's no sugarcoating it. Say what you want. He's basically playing light-hearted versions of Deadpool. It's pretty amazing that this man pretty much is the embodiment of Deadpool. And the fact that he stayed connected to this character for so long and made sure it got off the ground. You got to give the man credit, because without Ryan Reynolds, Tim Miller, and Rhett Reese and Paul Wernick, this movie would have never gotten made. It's been well known that 20th Century Fox made this movie as just a placeholder. It's like they didn't even want to make the movie. They just made this movie to say, we're going to make this movie, trot it out, and it's going to be schlock, whatever. Of course, they weren't expecting this movie to make the money that it did. Because, now 20th Century Fox has got Deadpool on top priority. Because now they know Deadpool can make you money. Which it did. Which it can. And when Deadpool 2 comes out, it will. Especially if of course, Deadpool 2 is not going to have Tim Miller. Or won't be a part of it simply because he backed out of filming due to creative conflict with Ryan Reynolds. Which is unfortunate. And it's over the casting of who should play Cable. But, Miller wanted Kyle Chandler. Ryan Reynolds didn't think that he was the right choice. And I agree with Ryan Reynolds. I don't think nothing against Kyle Chandler, but I don't think he does not fit the look of Cable. I mean, a Ron Perlman, a Stephen Lang, those two I think are meant to be Cable, and they can pull off a better Cable. They got the look, they got the acting chops to pull it off. Kyle Chandler, with all due respect, I don't think can pull it off. He's got too much of a clean-cut, babyface, good guy thing going on there. It's not working for me. But that's neither here nor there. But, all right, back to the topic at hand, which is the Deadpool film itself. Sorry, a little detour. Anyway. What do I like about this movie? I like almost everything about this movie. The movie is so... This is not a kid-friendly movie. Far from it. This movie earns its R rating, and it takes full advantage of the R rating, and it is spectacular. Seeing a superhero movie that does not hold any punches, is violent, is crude humor, is in a way, in its own way, a little bit of gritty. In certain scenes, it actually really is pretty gritty, and also in certain scenes, it also borderlines on intense and maybe a little slightly horrific in a couple of scenes, like this scene right here. you could put this scene on in a horror movie, and you would think you're watching. I'm sorry. You could put this scene on, and you would not, without any context, you think it's like a horror action type movie because you got the character of Ajax, who's looks normal, and you got Deadpool, who looks like he just went through a freak act, who just looks like he just went through hell, which he did. But that's what I like. And that's another reason why I like this movie, because it balances out its seriousness, it balances out its comedy, and it does it all in a pretty solid job. Um, basic. It does it all in a pretty solid job. It does it really good balance out. It's like you see, Deadpool when he's Wade Wilson, not Deadpool yet, not a mute, not a human mutate. He's just regular old Wade Wilson, and even from that onset, he's got the humor down. He's still humorous. He's a retired special. I think he's like a retired. He's a special operatives. I think he left the service or something like that. Or no, he was dishonorably discharged. I don't explain why. But anyway, he's like taking jobs as like it's like a mercenary for hire. That's what he is. That's Deadpool's merc. No, sorry. Mercenary for hire. And then he meets his girlfriend Vanessa. They seem to click. They click it off really well, and you got this really hilarious montage where they're having sex on every day of the week, and you got the song Calendar Girl playing in the background. It's just hysterical. And then there's one scene where they celebrate Lent, and it's just funny because it's like Happy Lent, and they're not doing it. They're just sitting on the cave. I find it funny. A lot of the jokes in this movie are. A lot of the jokes in this movie is like, this movie is so good with its comedy, it's ridiculous. Even if you get a bad joke, it's quickly followed up by a funny joke. Like it just keeps on going and going and going. It's like nonstop. So it's like you're constantly laughing at it. Even if you get hit with a dud, you got something that completely whitewashes the dud, and it's really good at balancing out that at doing this comedy balance. Yeah, so its comedy is well balanced. Its acting is, like I said, the acting's great. Ryan Reynolds as Deadpool, flawless. The actor who played Colossus is off the page Colossus, which is good. Brianna Hildebrand played Negasonic Teenage Warhead. She was good. Like Colossus and Nagasonic, they don't really have a whole lot of scenes, so I can't really judge them. But they serve the story in their own little way. Uh, Marina Backreen, I can't pronounce her name, but she plays Leslie Tompkins in Gotham. Played Vanessa, the love interest, and I really like the love interest Vanessa in this movie. She's not your typical damsel in distress. She's far from it. And but typical damsel in distress is like she doesn't get kidnapped every 5 seconds and cannot defend herself because she gets kidnapped, but she's also not afraid to give Deadpool, a little bit of a attitude because when Wade Wilson found out he had cancer, he abandoned Vanessa just like that. Of course, and Vanessa thought Wade to be dead. Of course, when she finds out that Wade is not dead, obviously she's pissed. I mean, the guy just abandoned you. You thought him dead. Of course, so they have they don't have like a intense I hate you type of argument. They have you're an asshole type thing, and then they back together at the end, which is all right. Which is for a movie like this, it works, and it doesn't seem awkward or out of place. Which is another reason why I love this movie because everything just seems to gel in a perfect way, in a near perfect way. Uh, of course, this movie has probably one of the best Stan Lee cameos ever, as he's a DJ at a strip club. Can't go wrong with that. And like I said, a lot of the in jokes are really, really cool. They name drop, people that are connected to Deadpool, like Rob Liefeld. They make reference to Deadpool in X-Men Origins Wolverine, but by seeing the action figure of the X-Men of the Wolverine of the X-Men Origins Deadpool, which was pretty funny. They make a crack at the Green Lantern movie, obviously, where Ryan Reynolds says, "Don't make the suit green or animated," which is it's like Fuck you, Warner Brothers. Make a bad Green Lantern movie. And the villain that in this movie, nothing spectacular, but for a movie like Deadpool, which is very simple, it works fine. The villain is the man that pretty much gave Wade Wilson his abilities to be Deadpool. Made him a human mutate. Of course, but since Wade is a human and he was given mutant powers, it fucked up his appearance. It fucked his appearance up, but it took away his cancer, but also scarred him heavily. And of course, this drove Wade Wilson insane, and hence how he became Deadpool. So the origin of Deadpool is pretty much close to what he is in the comic books. Of course, he gets his name Deadpool because he beat the odds. Wait, I'm sorry. Now the origins of Deadpool, how Deadpool got his name, pretty much is the same way how he did it in the books, only maybe slightly different. Whatever. In the books, Wade Wilson took the name Deadpool because he beat the odds of surviving the transformation to being a human mutate. In this movie, he called himself Deadpool because since he's a mercenary, the other mercenaries take bets on who's going to die, and Wade always survives his missions. So he got the name Deadpool because he beat the odds for surviving every mission. So it pretty much plays the same way as it does in the books, like just minor little difference. Doesn't really mean much. I mean, they both work in my opinion. Yeah, they definitely both work in my opinion, and it doesn't take nothing away from the movie. The movie's still fantastic. It's well directed by Tim Miller, who was also a special effects artist and did the effects of this movie, I think. And the movie looks great. It's beautifully shot. The cinematography is fantastic. The cinematography is great. The special effects are amazing, are fun to look at. Ryan Reynolds' movements as Deadpool is also is also great, aside from the comedy. So yeah, you can tell this movie had a lot of heart into it, and these people took it serious, and they wanted to make a good movie, and it paid off in spades. Deadpool the movie for me is something that I've waited a long time to see, and it was well worth the wait because this movie did not disappoint on any level. I enjoyed it immensely, which is why I'm giving Deadpool a 9 out of 10. Which is why, yeah, Deadpool for me gets a 9 out of 10. It's near perfect. It's a near perfect movie. It does have a couple of minor things that, I would have liked to see. More or less, I would like to see it. Even though the villain worked for this movie, I would like to see it have a little bit more depth to him, a little more depth to him. I would have liked to. Of course, Deadpool is a roommate with a blind woman. I would have liked to have seen more of a relationship between those two. But the stuff that Blind Al and Deadpool do have is pretty funny. But I would like to see more. T.J. Miller played Weasel, who's Deadpool's friend, who's also really, really funny and has some really cool lines. I would have liked to see more of him also. But, what I got was great. What I got was good. And, the movie loses 1 point for those little minor things. But other than that, those are my flaws to an otherwise nearly perfect movie. So, Deadpool 9 out of 10. Give it a watch.